Good afternoon, my good friend. It seems that everything is working and I beat Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde means again, people and affairs of the past are coming back into your life. And with the F10 situation, you can see definitely that the past is definitely coming back alive and biting some people's butts. Put it this way. Mercury retrograde also means it's going to affect the computer um, of the natural computers of birds and mammals and animals. Of course, the scientific community are not aware of it, but sometimes the whales, their computer says, "Oh, that's the open ocean." And since Mercury is retrograde, it messed up their natural computer, and they're going towards the beaches. Affects the birds, affects the mammal, affects the people. So it forces you to deal with the past, things that you think it's over and done with, like the Jeffrey Epstein files. Now they're coming back, and there is a karmic purpose for Mercury retrograde. Not only to mess up your computer or your car or messing up your appointment or trying to go someplace. All of a sudden the road is closed because there's construction, or somebody says it's going to turn right when you turn left. No, there is more to it. Okay. And it's karmic in so many ways. I remember a few years ago, uh, when they were about to send a shuttle and the seven astronauts, my God, I called and I called and I called. During those days, we didn't have the internet. Um, Trying to reach them and says, please do not sign this shuttle. You're going to kill these people. The only person I could reach was a secretary who told me, Dr. Turi, they will not listen to you, or they think I'm going to be crazy. And then most of the time, this is what happened when I predicted, for example, the flooding, Texas floodings. I signed a bunch of emails, reached people on their website, the FBI, the National Service, Weather Service, Fox and CNN anchors. The secretary, when they look at this, is crazy lunatic. Let's put all this in the trash. So I won't even have a chance to get to the people I'm trying to reach. Um, Currently, before I take your questions, of course, hey, good evening, Doug. Thank you for being here, my friend. Hey, Rachel, thank you. Um, we are currently under a Plutonic window. To those who knows me well, you know this window always directly affect the police. 3 cops died today in an explosion in Los Angeles. I reached the FBI. Again, my messages are going nowhere. All I have is you. So if you believe that I have something, then that's why it's important to share it and pass on the word about me. So this Plutonic window is all about death, drama, secret to come to light, the wake up calls, things that you never believe are going to happen now. You're going to be touched by reality. So this is so obvious. A Plutonic window or a Scorpionic window is more than obvious because that's where the reptilians are more obvious in their drive to suck life away from you, to hijack your body, your mind, your soul, drive you insane, being killed or kill somebody. It is now during this window that you're going to get a wake-up call. Remember, you may be audible, not visual, okay, or vice versa. Okay, so if you happen to be visual, then it's critical for you to go and read the newsletter. Okay, drturi.com, click on newsletter and read the tremendous amount of information where I elaborate, where I put the correct quatrain and the obvious keywords about what's going on in the world right now. There is no way for me to remember all that is transpiring right now. But it's in the newsletter. It's completely against the law for you not to read that newsletter once you're done listening to me. Okay, so again, the newsletter title is "The Truth Shall Set You Free." when I talk about the truth, of course, I'm talking about God, cosmic design. I'm talking about the stars, how they speak to me, and how they can help me to talk about you, basically. So we can, and tonight, by the way, I'm going to be doing a double. Once I am done streaming live on YouTube, if I did not reach you, or if you want to learn more, then go to TikTok. You have the link in the newsletters. Okay, so I'm doing a double tonight, so I can serve different people, different area, whatever it is. Since this is a new endeavor for me that started during the beginning and the end of important phases of life, which is again some of my predictions that came to pass. So the next date that's going to come in up will be in July, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. That's when you're going to have a kind of a monic window, which means the beginning or the end of some very, very important phases of your life. I know during those days I have something incredibly important to do. So I'm already ahead of time. The beauty is being cosmic conscious and understanding God, cosmic design, or Jesus Cosmic Ministries, allow me to see what's ahead of me. So the government will make significant news. Okay, you're talking about today, for example, with the Plutonic window, with the Epstein file being open and giving to the world a little bit of it. Of course, you can see that the truth comes to light. When I'm doing a Plutonic window, anything that is hidden comes to light, and it has to do with sex. Okay. The other window will be more about the beginning or the end of important phases of life. So you want to look and you want to listen to everything, and to the news, and to the government decision, to the people, to your friends, your family member. Something really, really important is ahead, because we're getting a new moon in the sign of Cancer. Okay, so July 4, 1776, America is a Cancer country. You heard me the other day. Okay, to represent food, the ancient carved the crab. Why the crab? Because he sits on the rock and he eats all day long. America is a big fridge. One of the reasons why everybody wants to be here, the American dream, there is everything. That's why I'm here. So this particular nation is going to be affecting this country dead on. So be prepared. It can only be something with the government in Trump, of course. So again, I don't want to mingle politics, because some people cannot separate themselves from my metaphysical cosmic work and their deep, political convictions or conspiracy. I'm not into that. I'm more into divulging the truth. Again, the truth shall set you free is the title of my newsletter, which you must read and of course share with the rest of the world, because those cops who died today, okay, had they read my warning last month when I published it on the Cosmic Code, they would have known it was not a normal day. It was not going to be a normal day for them. Okay, too late. You're not cosmic conscious, you're skeptical, you're religious fanatic. Well, you're going to pay the price of your ignorance, because God don't care. An act of God who killed all these kids, the ones that was fervently believing, supporting, and loving a God that killed them. That tells you there's something wrong somewhere as far as the truth and as far as divine wisdom is concerned. Again, God never came down, wrote no books, my friend, but he made the stars. And that the child of the universe, your soul's purpose is in some reality to reach the and understand the face and the tools of the Creator. I discussed that in detail in my previous video if you missed it. All right, now, this being said, I'm going to take some of your questions here. So, hello everybody. Okay, thank you for being here. Doug, again, well, no question to you so far. Well, I know who you are. You know who I am. You're a student, one of my top students. Thank you. And you're probably learning more and more as you're listening, like any other student. Rachel, hi, Dr. Turi. I'm a Libra, and I was born October 16, 1972. Anything interesting for me? Well, you were born with the tail of the dragon in Leo. Leo was everything about love, life, children. So there could be some problems as far as your upbringing is concerned. Might be difficulties with love and romance. It's like you have a course. Your heart is bigger than your head, so you have to learn independence in this lifetime. And as a Libra, it's critical for you to learn the laws. Okay, Libra wants to learn the law. You never tell a Libra to open a book. In fact, my two nieces, both of them are doctors, and both of them are doctors. Okay, and both of my sisters told me I never told those girls to open a book. That's Libra. But Libra also fall into the codification of thought, which means religion. You ain't gonna find the keys of what it means to be human or the divine laws in the Bible. Okay, it is not written by the hand of man. It is into the stars. So, as a Libra, and knowing your dragon is Leo Aquarius, anything to do with the stars, astrology, computers, AI, UFO, the impossible, the incredible, all the crazy life of Dr. Turi, because I got a stellium in Aquarius, so I'm an astrology, and it loves me. Next year, I'd say around July 2026, your entire life will change. Okay, and it can only be positive because you're going to go through what you call a mutual receptions of your dragon. Your dragon are going to be back to where they were when you were born. So it's like God and the devil are going to become your friends to help you to get what you want. So basically, this is an interesting time for you. Well, karmic and laws are applying where you pay some. Okay, nice time to collect. And stay away from drugs, alcohol, and religion. That's your downfall. Everything else, you seem to be pretty advanced. I hope that helps. Let's go and see next one. I may not be able to take every one of you tonight. Again, I'm going to be on TikTok later. Okay, so let's talk to Colleen. Right on. Hi, Dr. Tree. It's Colleen in Colorado. How are you, honey? Any news for me for the rest of this year, November 1st, 1970? Again, when it comes to Scorpio, okay, when it comes to Scorpio, you only have two. You have the eagle, okay, the heel that helps, that is above, and then you have the lizard, the stinger, so to speak. Okay, and the stinger represents the criminal, the killers. It represents the nasty revenge, the nasty energy involving the powerful sign of Scorpio. So, as far as you're concerned, let me dig a little bit deeper into you here. You happen to have also the same dragon, okay, as Rachel. So the dragon is going to be coming into your career and your home. So you will have a restructure of the base of your operation, a restructure of your career, and pretty much a restructure of your entire life when the dragon moves into Leo Aquarius axis. For now, it is in Pisces Virgo. And you understand that Virgo is the sign of whose health and work, your service to the world. That's why hundreds of thousands of people have lost their job, because the tail is in Virgo. And then you have kind of a little rebirth of the world of Pisces, which is religion, trying to get people left and right through the world of Pisces. So basically, I see that you have a fear. You do have a fear of not having enough resources, or fear of not finding Mr. Wealthy, Mr. Solidity. You could do it all yourself. You have the power of the Scorpion. In fact, you have a stellium in Scorpio. Just let go of your mom, let go of the upbringing and the drama, because you have asked for that. You're related to your family again genetically. You may even look like mom and dad or your brothers and sisters, but you've got nothing to do with any one of these guys because they don't have the same stars. And suddenly enough, nobody is educated or cosmic conscious. It's not by teaching the Bible to kids that they tell the parents that they're going to understand each other's and how God made them their own divinity. So you go quite a lot ahead of you. I would suggest you computers, traveling the world, anything to do with high tech. You may stay some time, a long time without a partnerships, but Mr. Right maybe just ahead. Okay, so socialize a little bit more. Okay, socialize because you seem to be a little bit of a loner and you're in a cave. I wouldn't say antisocial, but wishes can only be granted by friends. So you need to go out. Okay, and since you are a sign, you have to go out after the new moon. That's the secret. All right. I hope that helps, my friend. So for the time being, anything else, you can go to Dr. Turi and drturi.com, and then you can click on your sun sign. Any one of you who cannot reach tonight, okay, it's all on my website. You can read any of my books. They are designed and written for all my students. I would start by which one I would think would be the best for someone who does not know me, Beyond the Secret, because he talks about my crazy life with the extraterrestrial, how I left France when I was just a young boy, 22 years old. I'm 75 now. Okay, and all that happened to me because of my father and the subconscious and all the trauma, the death, the whole mess that I went through. That was just to build me to who I am today. So I think Beyond the Secret, actually, Amazon referral says that you cannot put the book down once you open it. So that's a good start. Now, if you're into the dragon, hey, another 500-page book or 600-page book, I use very small font. Okay. So another one to master, because remember, Nostradamus tend to focus more on the dragon than anything else in your chart. And I believe there is more power in the location of your dragon alone than the entire complexity of your chart. But that's me. Okay. Okay, so let's see now. Let's go to Stephanie. Good evening, Stephanie. Aloha, CY. I like that. Nancy, we all gonna go and die. LOL. No. Now, remember, the future is the reincarnation of the thought. God did not put us on this earth to die a terrible death. No. Plus, there are all the energy, all the things that science or religious fanatics cannot connect with, and that's called the draconis, the good extraterrestrials. They are watching very closely. Believe me. So we are not going to die. Remember. That's critical that you remember. Your future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thoughts. So be part of the solution, regardless of all the mess that's going on in the world. Okay? Sign good thought, because thoughts are things that mold our future as a unit. All right, let's see. The official asks Sue. Hello from the UK. Hope you are doing okay. I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Sue. Thank you for being here. Yolanda Brown, you're in Florida. Okay, what a beautiful place. Florida. Calling me sooner or later. Teen Wood Vintage, great team, my friend. With a beautiful, beautiful art. There's so many beautiful people out there. It's just ridiculous. So you have no reason to feel depressed or negative in your life. I mean, you already won the race, and you were a few million around to pass the line, okay, and get into that egg and become who you are today. So you're already a winner, okay? There is so much power, so much energy, so much option, so much opportunity for you out there. And then being curious and understanding your destiny, your divinity, put it this way, would definitely be a major contribution for your success, especially if you run the head of the dragon and you being cautious on your dragon tail, where everyone of us is stuck. Nicole, Rickett, glad I caught you live. I just got finished watching Divine Astrology. I loved it. Feeling very virtual high with a beautiful heart. Thank you for being here, Nicole. I'm glad you enjoy my work. Remember, this is Nostradamus Astrology. the great prophet 500 years ago didn't have a watch or a computer. So trine, sextile, Sol, Saturn, square, opposition, conjunction, all that good stuff that involve modern astrology's mathematical jargon that takes you away from the reality. I mean, if you, let's use common sense. You go in a public place and you meet a person, okay? And that's why I write my book. I wrote my book, I know all about you. If that person, whomever it is, gave me a date of birth or a month of birth, to be more precise, that person becomes an open book. And that's one of the reasons why the Church Inc. kept it away from you, because it's too much knowledge, too much power. You can have so much control over other people. That's why it's important to have integrity. When you learn from me, you can use all that for good or for bad, okay? Because the stars don't care. It's like God creating an earthquake and killing some baby. The stars do not rationalize. They just do. The more you know about your celestial identity, your cosmic nature, or someone else, the more you're going to connect with that person. You see, there is over 5,000 religions out there, and every one of those religions are teaching you something different. But when it comes to astrology, this is Jesus teaching the 12 apostles, the 12 energy, the 12 months of the year, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 signs, the 12 jury, the 12 tribe Israel, the 12 whatever you want, and then your 12 sign of the zodiac and your 12 houses. Okay, so once everybody gets to understand, it will happen as we move into the age of Aquarius, where the age of deception and illusion, the age of Pisces is cast aside. Okay. And our space brothers start to say hello to us, okay? Then there'll be such a high awareness of who you are talking to. You will know that somebody born in June, like Trump, for example, taking him as an example, he's got two faces. He's a dual. It's natural for him to change his mind. And being a dual, meaning again, two wives, two kids, two golf course, two hotels, two restaurants, two impeachment, and two elections, become the president for the second time. He's a Jew, okay? He's a Gemini. That's just the way it is. So you can read about anybody of the zodiac. You have your good and you have your bad, because you cannot have a God without a devil, or vice versa. You cannot have a day without a night. You need the opposite in order for life to be. That's why you have two eyes, two arms, two legs again. And I seem to be redundant and repeat myself because there's new people that came in. They never heard that before. Okay, so bear with me. All right, so what else here do we have here? Ronaldo, my wife is new to the channel. She was born May 31st, 1958. Okay, May, January, February, March, April, May. So, when I channel, I have a problem going back down to this rational physical world. So let me look at your wife a little bit, and then we're going to see what I have for her. Okay. I wish I had a name, but it's okay. Okay, she likes to eat and she likes to cook, or both. I'm not sure, but I can see that. Okay, and what I see with her, she won't miss any birthday, any family gathering. She is very, very much into family. Okay, and she could also be religious. She has fear of not knowing what is the truth. And in being a Taurus, she's down to earth, she's practical, she's rational, she's an earth sign. She's not an air sign or a water sign, which is intuitive. She's earth. Earth meaning solid and secure, not necessarily ready to move on forward. So a problem, she had to learn to let go of the past, not being stubborn, keep an open mind. Ahead of the dragon is Scorpio. I mean, that's the witch. So if she has any neck problem or thyroid problem, she probably does. She's probably been hanged in previous past life, because she does have a few past life involving metaphysics, witchcraft. Again, in French, when you call somebody a witch, it's a compliment. In the United States, which is a country built upon puritanical religious principle, you call somebody a witch, what's the matter with you? No, a witch in French means that you're a medicine woman. You're somebody who is highly spiritually advanced, somebody who has been going around. Okay, careful around the water. Okay, your dreams and your wishes are about to take place once the dragon move on your wishes and friends. You might have to get closer to the water in an exotic place, or maybe ask your husband to take you on a cruise somewhere. Some of your wishes are waiting for you. Okay, now there's definitely a very student type of person, rational, down to earth, and practical. However, highly spiritual, but is hidden in the subconscious. So I hope that helped for the time being. Okay, let's see. Oh, also, she has healing power in her hands. Okay, and she needs a lot of rocks or crystals around her to regenerate. All right, so let's see what we have here. Um, Message from Yolanda was retracted. Okay, see why. February 18, 1960. My gosh, I wish I was born in 1960. Oh my gosh. And still know what I know. That's the deal. That supreme wisdom that took me so many years to accumulate and to master. I wish I knew all that, but I did not. All right, what do I see with you? Stay away from drugs and alcohol. You have an addictive personality. Okay, that's I can tell you only the good. I can tell you the good and the bad. That's the deal with me. Okay, you will be forced to lose everything in life, maybe once or twice. First part of your life will be tough. Okay, let go of the upbringing. Many things that happen with the upbringing, maybe your mom, your dad. I don't know. I don't want to know. But I'm telling you, let it go. Okay, you let it go because there is no future in your past. Aquarius is those born in February, pretty much like me. Just imagine the guy, he has a jar in his water, that's the sign of Aquarius, and there is water pouring out of the jar. So the soul's purpose of somebody born in February, like you and I, is to go up there into the cosmic design, understand the face of the tools of God, translate it, put it in the jar, and then giving that supreme cosmic wisdom to a very thirsty world. That is the soul's purpose as an Aquarius. That's why they want to travel. Careful on your knees when you join. I see a long life ahead of you. Okay. Avoid depression. Again, let go of the past. There is no future in your past. You're the sign of the future, so you got no business into the past. Stay clear from antidepressant, drugs, alcohol, religion, and then aim towards green plant nature and all that is pure. Even though that we all have purity and perfection don't exist on this dense physical world, you still have the stars to do a really, really good job. Don't eat when you're upset, lastly. And you're like an investigator of the higher order, medicine woman witch. You have that in your chart also. But I hope that helps a little bit. And again, the dragon will be working on your side as we aim towards 2026. Every year in July or in August, I write the Nostradamus Dragon Forecast, personal and universal. I won't do it this year because it's too much work for me. I just want to relax a little bit. Remember, I had a concussion, messed up my back when I was working for FedEx, and it's very hard for me to sit long, and so I'm moving around, so I help my back, and my head. But hey, I'm tough. Yeah, you know me, I'm tough, not to drink. Okay, let's see. What else do I have here? We get so many people. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to stay online and go down the line as I go along. But it might be impossible, but no rush. So let's do it. Okay, Dex. Oh, when Mercury retro is ending. Again, 2 weeks ago, when I predicted the flooding in Texas, I knew when Mercury is retrograde, there is a total lack of communication. And this is what happened. They actually called a red warning was issued very late, and everybody was asleep, so nobody was using the phone. And that is Mercury rules communication and transportation and your telephone and your wheels, everything that moves. So that tells me that Mercury was retrograde well before the date that are induced by modern astrology. Mercury retrograde, just look at the modern dates and then add a couple weeks before and a couple weeks after. Okay, that is from my observation. So I hope that helps. Okay. Okay, what else do we have here? You speak the truth. I love that. Thank you, Nico. Yes, I speak the truth, and it got me in trouble many times. I even smacked people's mouths when I was younger because I was pretty wild, because I couldn't take lies or anything else but wild. Now I am wise. I am here. Hello, Ranch Views. Thank you for being here. Naomi, oh my, I'm here. Yes, I'm so glad you guys are here and you enjoying it. That is wonderful. Okay, so let's keep going down again. Naomi seems, are you there? Yes, I am here. Okay, I guess that was at the beginning before I show up or something, I don't know. So, Ranch, I was born June 28, 1987 in Houston, Texas, under a waxing crescent moon at 5:56 a.m. Well, this is what I usually use the entire date of birth when I do a reading, and that I cannot do a full reading on you, but I am going to give you a little bit of a feedback, okay? So, okay, let me see again. You were born June 28, okay? And then you were born in 87. I believe that has to do with some Scorpio there. Oh, no, you're 4-degree Libra Aries. So you have the same dragon as I have, Aries. Aries dragon's head. You're going to be harassed by your dragon to find out who you are. And once you do, you're going to become a leader of the mind, because Aries was the head, the brain, the eyes, the mouth, anything to do with the head, the Aries. And it's an aggressive, competitive sign, and it's a sign that is ruled by Mars. That's why I was in construction, welder, engineering, always going forward until I refine myself and use my head instead of my hands, and burning myself and fighting when I was a kid. A lot of famous boxers, fighters have a dragon's head in Aries. A lot of crazy people jump the Grand Canyon on bikes. The head of the dragon in Aries. That's why reading my book, The Power of the Dragon, will tell you why people did what they did, including people like Hitler. Okay, so it's all in these big books that could be quite interesting for those of you who want to know about their dragon, or the dragon know their family or kids. Okay, the downfall is Libra. In other words, you always think of helping other people before you help yourself. Okay, and you probably arrived in an environment where the upbringing could have been also pretty tough. I can see that you like to eat or you like to cook. You're very emotional. You're very sensitive. You're completely and entirely under the jurisdiction of the moon. So I'm glad you mentioned that you were born in a waxing moon. So anything you do, try to stay with the tide that is imposed upon your birthright, and you'll be just fine. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got Pluto on the in the 5th house from Cancer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that means maybe sometime losing a child, a dramatic experience on the upbringing. I can see that you're a professional student, and stay away from religion. Okay, Saturn is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius like the books and the codification of thought. The good news is that you have Uranus just next door to Saturn. And Uranus is all about New Age astrology, UFO, the impossible, the incredible, crazy tinfoil guys like that. The Turi, oh, the geniuses, if that makes sense to you. So you got that duality here. Your head of the dragon happens to be in your career, and then if you count to 10 from July, let's say you are Elon Musk. In the 2nd house of money, you're a Leo, so God wants you to shine with your finances, and Elon Musk does. If you go into the 10th house, you end up on the head of the dragon in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, and that's why Elon Musk wants to go on Mars. Okay, he's a pioneer. Makes sense, I hope. Okay, easy for my student to digest all that. Okay, just let go of the upbringing. okay? And everything else will be shining. The head of the dragon is going to be moving on your house of money, metaphysics, early next, in the middle of 2026. And that's where a lot of big change will take place. The negative side is somebody old has to go. And that happens all the time, sad enough. Okay, so what I'm going to look now is His Highness. There he is. I get the magician card in my reading. Well, if you got the magician, that means you have magical power, as simple as that. Okay, or to be more practical, you are able somewhere somehow to reach your subconscious or God, where God resides. Okay, and then use that magical power in order to get things going your way. Keep positive. So you were born as a Gemini, but you were born in the constellation of Taurus, May 27, 59. So that would be May 27. And let me check your stars. We are fast here. And you were born 1959. So I have my astrological software that I developed in front of me. So I just type your date of birth and your chart come up. So you have the moon in Aquarius, so you're a weirdo like me. UFO astrology, you erratic behavior, original, friendly, you've got it all with the moon in Aquarius. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Your sun sign is Gemini, so you're a jewel, you like to talk, you go all over the place, which is interesting. And you got the tail of the dragon in Aries. Okay, so be careful with the tail of the dragon in Aries. You could be going too fast, you could break your arms, you could get stopped by the cops, flying on the street instead of following the speed limit. So be cautious, especially when your head. The tail of the dragon is on your head, okay? So wear a helmet, okay? And got a lot of past life in Germany, a lot of past life as a warrior, as a leader, and it's difficult for you to take on direction. And sometimes the process, you can be also bossy, a little bit weird, but bossy. Okay. And that's good. The Saturn is definitely in good position in the sign of Capricorn, which means if you discipline yourself and crystallize yourself and educate yourself, you could become a writer, a teacher of the higher order, or you can work for a large corporation and build up your own corporation because you got genius aptitude, my friend. You're a weirdo like me. Let's go. Woo! I'm not totally late. No, Jenny, you're not. You're still there. And even though you could still, if you missed what I said earlier, go back later on because I believe that video is going to be saved. Yolanda, okay, sorry. I was asking about my cat, Zazie. I'm going crazy, missing her so much. Oh, man. When it comes to pet, I am with you because those things are made to love. They have a reason to live with us. Mostly the reason is if you stay home all the time and you always on carpet, on wood floor, on your tile, on tar, on your tire, you don't connect with Mother Earth. You don't regenerate. It's important to go out, hug a tree, jump in the freaking river, get shocked, okay? Connect with nature. And animals, they don't wear shoes, so they are not disconnected from the earth, and they recharge their chakras real fast. So when you pet them or stay with them, they recharge you on the chakras, and that's one of the reasons that they are with us. And I told last time, I believe, Google Dr. Turi, cat and dogs in time and space. Read more about why the beautiful souls, to me, they are souls, are living with us. So one good thing, once you pass on the higher dimension, you are not going to attract the wrong people. And it looks like Zazie is going to be there to greet you. Okay. Like my dogs. I miss them so much. Flor Hijabek. I don't know where you are from. Flor Hijabek. Hi, dear. I am January 2nd, 1961. Can stars give me some guide? Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Well, that's Reykjavik. I don't know what that is. Iceland? Maybe. I don't know. North of Europe, that's for sure. So January 2nd, 1961. So we're going to put January 2nd, and then we're going to put 1961, and we're going to have your divinity right there. Okay, you've got a moon in Cancer and you've got Mars in Cancer, so your emotions are pretty volatile, and you keep it in. You're that type of person where you keep things in when you get upset. Okay, show your feelings. So you've got a conflict between your emotions and the Capricorn, which is cold. Mercury, the Sun, Jupiter, Saturn, all that is in Capricorn. So you have a stallion. Slowly but surely, you're going to climb the mountain. The only problem, you're born in January. You're not born in August. Okay, you're born in January. There is no fruits in the trees. It's not hot, nice and warm outside. It's cold and wet and snowy and windy. That means how hard it is going to be for you to get to the top of the mountain. But once you're there, Saturn will reward you forever. And it usually gives a pretty long life. Okay. The downfall again could be depression, drugs, alcohol, chemical, religion. That's a downfall. But again, that's just being victimized by the country and the system you were born in. Again, as I said in my last video, I'm Christian because I was born in France. But if I was born in Asia, in the Middle East, or in Africa, God knows where, with 5,000 religions, I would not be Christian. So we are cursed geographically by a religion that has been imposed upon our family for generations. Don't eat when you're upset to save your stomach. Care for your joint and your knees. Okay, and control your imagination. Okay, don't complain. Don't complain. Remember, your subconscious takes your fears as a wish. Watch my movie on the superconscious from drturi.com. I'm sure it will help you a little bit. Okay, the dragon is going to be moving on your finances and your spiritual houses. So that's going to be quite interesting. After that timing, chances are your life will get much better than what it is now. Right now, the dragon is in your mind, so he wants you to study, travel, and deal with foreigners. And you're doing well. All right, so let's see what we have here. Okay, CY, thank you. You're welcome. Yolanda Brown, I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? I don't know, but okay. My name is George. I was born June 28, 87. So we did that too already. Okay, Nicole. I'm so attracted to your beautiful energy. I see the stars and the beautiful loving face with the heart. Well, same to you, my good friend. Same to you. Remember, magnet will attract a piece of wood. Okay. If you're positive, okay, and once the student is ready, the real teacher, the gifted teacher will appear. So it's just a matter of being ready. It's all about energy. It's all about the power of the divine that attract or reject people. Okay. So I'm glad to be into energy, and it's beautiful to be into your energy too. Lose Taurus. Pisces, March 18, 2002. March 18, 2002. Oh my God, have mercy. I wish I was born in 2002 and still know what I know. All right, so we have a Pisces with Mercury in Pisces, intuitive, psychic, spiritual. But remember, there is two fishes. The one that goes upstream towards God, cosmic design, Jesus, cosmic ministry, and then the one that goes down towards drugs, alcohol, depression, the past, and stuck into religion. There's only two fish, the good and the bad. It is indeed the hardest sign to be born under because Pisces carries in its own self all the strengths and all the weaknesses of all the signs. And I am a Pisces, so I know. Okay? When I was a kid, I remember I was looking for caves. You know, that I might as well tell you this little story. I had a recurrent dream non-stop when I was a kid. Okay, I was in like a cave, and around me I could see all my family dressed in white, like long robe, white. And I was on the table, but the table was like a rock table, and behind me, I could see the eagles. I could see the summit of the mountain and the snow. The eagles flying in the snow. I could hear the wind, and everybody was crying. And I was attached. You know, I was tied up on that table, and I was smiling, and nobody was crying. What the hell? Okay. And I had this dream non-stop when I was a kid, non-stop. As a kid, there is not much connection between your subconscious. In other words, you remember your previous past life. The next thing I know, 3 Chinese soldiers, I could see their helmet, they came to me and their knife, they killed me. And I died. I was knife, that's why I have a phobia. If I see a knife turned towards me, I freak out immediately. So it tells you I've encrusted that memories in my subconscious. And as I grew up and I learned, first of all, I realized when I was a kid why I was always looking for cave, what I wanted to be in the cave, left alone in the cave. Okay, and then I learned that the Chinese invaded Tibet, and then they killed all the lamas, they killed all the masters. So that's where I came from. That's my very, very first nightmare the last 4 years. Nobody could explain to me. So as I grew up, I understood that there was reconnecting with my past life in Tibet. Yeah, long story. Okay, so Pisces, so I tell you, be careful. You've got the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius. Sometimes you're too honest. People don't like to hear the truth, okay? The head of the dragon is in Gemini, which is all about communication, writing, reading. So discipline yourself, you're a messengers of the gods. With this dragon, there is so much you can do for the world, okay? But your life ain't gonna be easy, okay? You're like me. But at the end, you'll be at the top, okay? The dragon is right on you right here, right now, and it forces you to reevaluate the way you see the world or your relationships, okay? Making problem, maybe if you have a boyfriend or a husband. A bit too young for that, I believe. And then the dragon is going to move in your subconscious and your 6th house of work and service to the world. So there's going to be quite a lot of progress for you once the dragon changes sign. Right now, he's right in your face. All right, drive slow. Stay away from drugs. Don't smoke. Okay, careful your back. Stay away from religion. You'll be just fine. Very, 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 very old soul. All right, so I hope that helped. Let's go. Let's go to Ranch View. Very spot on. I've been diving into astrology ever since I watched a documentary about astrology, and I plan on getting a few of your books for learning the power of the dragon. I know all about you. Well, thank you for your support. Okay, you are at that time, at that moment in your life where you can gain quite a lot from somebody you trust. That would be me for the time being, but there are teachers that will come your life, all the way. Yeah, I'm just passing through and get the best of what I have. Okay, I might stay with you forever, depending on how much you vibrate of my cosmic speed. And then any one of you are not here by accident. There is no accident, not in my world. Absolutely no accident. Okay, so the deal is for you to realize that the stars are extraordinarily powerful, and they do their homework. They do work. Okay, and the more you know, the better it is. Okay, and God created the stars. I appreciate your insight. I've also been having very prophetic dreams, very profound. Keep listening to your subconscious. The more you train yourself in doing something, the easier it becomes to delegate the divine. It's like, it's like driving. The more you do it, the better you become. Thank you, Dr. Turi. Yolanda Brown. Oh, she died Monday. I'm so sorry. My heart is with you. So sorry, Yolanda. I don't know who you refer to. It could be your mother. God bless. She's watching you. Sometimes you carry a lot of venom from the upbringing. Your mother's been really bad. Your dad's been really bad. God knows what. When you have attracted those people, you have asked for them. The good news is when they pass, these very people become your best guardian angel, because once they pass into the fourth dimension, they're getting senses that you don't have now. So they realize what they did to a certain extent. Call them guilt if that helped you to understand the phenomenon that's going on here. Okay, but ultimately, the worst of the people in your life are going to be your best guide once they pass. That's why it's not good to nurture negativity. First of all, there is no future in your past. Okay, so do the Kabbalistic cleansing ritual. If you don't know what that is, let me explain to you. It's important. You may move into a house and then somebody died of suicide in this house, or got really, really negative and fought, and all this energy is in the wall, is there. I need to clean it up. So what you need to do, you're going to get 3 candles, okay? And you're going to make like a triangle, white in front of you, green on the left, blue on the right, okay? You're making this triangle. You put a little incense in the middle, and behind the white candle, you put the pictures of the person that hurts you the most. Okay, and if you don't have a picture because you tear them or burn them by hatred, okay, then buy a little white, green, or blue angel and put it behind the white candle. Light up the incense, light up this candle as a triangle, and just talk. Ask for forgiveness for the negative energy, and then you're going to see your life changing. Just try it. It works, believe me. All right, let's go. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry you're in pain. Oh, you know what? I'm tough. I've been in pain all my life. And when I'm going to be when I'm done on top of that, before I go to TikTok, I'm going to jump maybe in my pool. Or maybe I'll do it later and swim a little bit. Action is what keeps my back moving. I appreciate your arrangement, my friend. Okay, you have time. My daughter, she was born May the 3rd, 2021, and the name is Billy Paz. Okay, so we have some Taurus story, okay? Okay, so we have 5, which is Taurus, and then she was born the 3rd. We're going to put that, and she was born in 2021. Okay, let's look at this soul. Okay, so we have a stellium in Taurus on family, food, security, and then you have a stellium on square. I know I don't like to use modern astrology terms, but all those planets are pretty much in square with Jupiter, Saturn, and the Moon, all in the sign of Aquarius. So one side is for home, family, security, okay, and the other one is travel the world and being weird and being a rebel, put it this way. That's just one side. Usually a child is under the moon power until puberty. After that, the moon is, put it this way, okay? So anything to do with computers, technology, AI, oh my gosh, she is a genius on her own right. I see her having a high position, either with the government later on, or might be building on her success. And she will write. She's a talker. She likes to talk and communicate. The downfall, again, is the codification of thought and believing only the truth coming from either religion or science. That's the only downfall. Luckily for her, the weird Aquarius with Jupiter and Saturn, including your guidance, will help her to come out of the square box of the Taurus and the Mercury in Taurus. Okay. Beautiful, magnetic. I see wealth. I see power. I see all sorts of things. Aggressive when she gets upset. A little bit weird in some ways. Okay, but an interesting, positive life. When the dragon hit her stellium next year, around February, she's definitely going to have a very interesting time. The month of June and December will always be significant for her. Just make sure she understands that. Be careful. What she does during the new and the full moon during those months ain't gonna be normal. Okay, so let's look what we have here. Bios. Hi, my friend. Thank you for just going live in this session. Born September the 9th, 1984. Saludo. Okay, Barrios. You know what, Virgo, when it comes to Virgo, okay, so that would be September 9th, because September we have the 9th again. And the 9th, okay, doing your chart right now, take a second. And you were born September 9, 1984. You know, my top students, I've noticed that all my top students were born in September. Mercury is in Virgo, so there is a strong sense of detail, perfectionism, which is beautiful. Don't turn yourself into a vegetarian, okay? You're not a cow. You were not born with flat teeth and 3 stomachs to regurgitate on grass all night long. And you were not born a tiger or a lion with fangs and claws to eat only steak. Keep it in control. Okay, if you turn yourself into a cow, that's going to neutralize your magnetism. Okay, in a female chart, it means also problem in birthing, being cold, not being magnetic. Okay, so I understand a lot of Virgo have a sense of perfection. Okay, and then with the moon in Pisces, you would never hurt anything or anybody, and that's part of you, who you are. Okay. Pluto in Saturn in Scorpio in the third house. Oh my gosh, this is an FBI agent, a doctor, a metaphysician, a witch from previous past life. Dragon said is in Gemini like Trump, a messenger of the God, a talker, communicator. Everything in you is 2, 4, 6. You're going to have a gift of use. I have this hidden dragon in Gemini. That's why I'm 75. I don't look my age. I'm a dual. I'm from France. I'm here. I speak 4 languages. Been married a couple of times. Everything 2, 4, 6 with me like Trump. That's the beauty of being a Gemini, a messenger of the God, a talker, radio, writing books, mastering communication, natural. Okay. And I remember when I was at school, my teachers used to say, wow, Louis, okay, I want you to go to Mr. Clapp. Mr. Clapp was the English teacher. I want you to copy the French dictionary, okay? And then everybody was looking at me and they were trying to learn English. Mr. Clapp put me on stage and he says, you see the way he would never speak English. He's a loser. He would never go nowhere in life because he doesn't listen to his teacher. He amused the classes all the time. This idiot did not know that there was I had the moon in Gemini, so I'm ADD. I have tons and tons of mental and physical energy. My metabolism is so fast, so I burn fat real fast. And I have that energy. So you got the same thing, my good friend, okay? Again, the moon in Pisces, stay clear from religion, drugs, alcohol, chemical, and be positive, swim upstream. Go for your back, okay? And if you go in the wild, you have the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius. So if you go in the wild, you might as well go after the new moon, okay? You'll be protected. You've got a lot of past life with the Indians and disappear civilization, but the tail is in there, so you could attract a mountain lion that would hit your pet. So be cautious in the wild, okay? Because you've got that wild side by you also. All right, reading, talking, communicating is your gift. You're a messenger of the God. Really good chart. Okay, let's move on to okay. Liz, appreciate it so much. You're welcome, my friend. Okay, Rachel. Okay, oh, wait a second. Mitch, I am number 39 here. We got 39 people here. I had no idea. Thank you for being here, my good friend. All right, let's go. Rachel Makamas, I was born 2949 of a sign. Doesn't that make me both sign? Okay, you're born on the cusp. Put it this way. Yeah. You're not just both sign. You are every sign of the zodiac. Each time you flip into a different house, you got a different energy. Okay, so let's say in my case, I was born February 26th. So I have a few planets in Aquarius and I have the sun in Pisces. My soul's purpose is Aquarius. Get up there, translate the divine, put it in the jar, the water, the water bearer, and give that knowledge to a very thirsty world. That's my soul's purpose. In my second house of money, I become a Pisces. Okay, Pisces is all about water, boat captain. Pisces is all about the spirit, the psychic work, spirituality, painting, acting, dancing. I play piano. I was a recording artist. See, third house, Taurus. Okay, gives the practicality of the dreamy Pisces. So you are every single sign each time you flip into a different house, and then you have all those planets that help the house to fulfill its purpose. And then most of all, you have the dragon. The dragon is in a specific house, and you better follow the head of the dragon. And we all stuck on the tail. Everybody is stuck on the tail of the dragon because it's like a child who doesn't want to go to school. I like to be on my tail because that's where I feel comfortable, because that's where you have all your past life. But it's like an upside down funnel. If you go in the head, you have the Jupiterian energy of getting. Okay, you got to be helped on the head of the dragon because that's the challenge. That's where you're going to grow. That's where God will help. On the tail, maybe stuck for a long time. Okay. All right. So let's see what we have. Okay. August 31st, 1959. August. So we have the what's the name? Lini, August 31st. We have another Leo Virgo, back exactly what I just mentioned, 1959. Okay, so we have the energy of the lion. Okay, when you were born in August, like this kid who just got nominated for, I think, in sport, is 17 years old, and he's already on top of the world. In baseball, he was chosen to be born in August. What do you expect? No, born in January, no winter. He's born in August. Okay, so when you're born in August, it looks like God's going to give you everything you want to build the stage and to get fame, because that's part of the lesson. It's your soul's purpose to build the stage, to be a king, to be on stage and to shine. That is what the stars do, and they do it. Now, wherever you have Leo, that's where God wants you to shine. Okay, and kind of go through the entire belt of the zodiac. But in your case, you have Uranus and you've got Mercury in Leo. Okay, so control the ego. Mercury is communication, Leo is the king. So you could be bossy in the process. Okay, but it's all in your subconscious, which is interesting because you're bringing light. Leo is the sun. During the day, the planet shines away. You're bringing light into the 12th house because you're on the cusp. Okay, so you have a stellium in Virgo. Okay, and then so in your subconscious you have the planet Uranus, which means you have learned astrology. So you got Pluto, the Sun, Venus, and Mars all in the sign of Virgo. Wow. Pluto, the most powerful planet you can get after the Sun. It's gonna draw you into the details, perfection. Name it, and that's perfect for paperwork, office work, natural healing. If you want to be a doctor, take care of paperwork, that's good. The Virgin Mary is very, very strong. But remember, she works for you. You don't work for her. She could turn you, as I said earlier. If you missed it, listen to it earlier. Don't turn yourself into a cow or a vegetarian. Venus is in Virgo. Venus in a male chart represents the type of love is able to respond from a woman. In a female chart, Venus represent the type of love she's able to offer a man. So your love is pure. Your love is anal, put it this way, but it's also solid. Mars is in Virgo. Mars represents the type of man that would fit a woman very well. It doesn't have to be a Virgo, but it has to be nice, clean, organized, a hard worker, and not drinking, and all the good stuff that Virgo is demanding. In a female chart, Mars represents the type of man that would fit her well. And in a man chart, Mars represents how he's going to show his masculinity or go after a female. Okay, my Mars is in Libra. Libra is astropsychology, right? That's why I was extraordinarily successful during my young, wild days. I was bad. I apologize to all those hearts that I broke. I had a vendetta against women because my heart was messed up by a woman who did not deserve me, but at the same time, she made me the strongest man on the planet. And that's how it is, karma. All right, so let's see where we have your head of the dragon is Libra. Okay, Libra is all about the laws. That's a cop. That's an FBI agent. That's an attorney. By the way, O.J. Simpson attorney Marsha Clark was a Virgo. Okay, October, second house of money. She was making money with the law. Okay, psychology, astropsychology. One of the reasons why many of my students invest in me is because the second house of money is Libra, and Libra is the laws of land. Okay, DMV, the IRS, the red light, the stoplight. Okay, the Bible, and then you have the laws of the divine. Again, astropsychology. Traditionally, a Virgo think and talk like a Scorpio. September, October, November, you count 3. You go into the third house. Whoa, sarcasm. You see that stinger? Careful when you deal with the Virgo. You ask something, you're going to hear it. Okay? And that, of course, mess up everything because you lose a friend or a family member, you lose a wish. So Virgo has to learn to control their sarcasm because they perceive everything and they know exactly where to hit. And they regenerate in the mind. They investigate. So they regenerate. They might sign off for conspiracy or metaphysics or medical field, whatever it is. The harder, the better. Okay. Now, Neptune is in your third house, so stay away from drugs and alcohol and religion. Jupiter is in Scorpio, so that is a phenomenal position for Jupiter in the world of Scorpio, which is investigation, any type of investigation. But Jupiter will never, ever help you unless you do things in a big way. Remember, he's a big guy. I talked about Jupiter in my previous video, okay? And if you stay with planners. Okay, excuse me. Right now, the head of the dragon is in your seventh house, since you're a Virgo, and that is facing the world, maybe loneliness or the wrong partner. So if the people don't fit, they have to move and being replaced. The head is right on you, reevaluating everything about service in the work and your health in general. And then the dragon will move in your subconscious, and again, that's going to be an interesting time for you early next year. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go back to whomever is there. I'm trying to take care of as many people as possible. Remember, I am going to be doing TikTok later on. So if you miss it, just go and sign up later on. Okay, I'm going to have a glass of water, walk around a little bit, and then I'm going to go back on YouTube, on TikTok. So if I miss you, we can talk about there. So let's see what we have. Okay, Benny, I hope this is posted later. I just came in. Yes, Benny, don't worry, my friend. To me, it's an honor to be able to teach you. And it's also a compliment because that means that you really, really want to hear what I have to say. At the subconscious level, obviously, you know that I have a lot of good stuff to give you. Yeah, it'll be posted. Hopefully, it should be. We've been on for 1 hour and 6 minutes. My gosh, woo! Times fly. But believe me, if you go to the dentist, time don't fly. So if you're having good time, time flies. Have you noticed that? Okay? With a bunch of time doesn't go fast. All right, so let's see what we have. Alexander, $10. Oh, thank you, my friend. Wow, somebody gave me $10. I appreciate that. Okay, it's more of the gesture, but I really appreciate it. Of course, I'm going to do yours. January 21st, 1977. Thank you for all you do, brother. All right, Alexander, let's see. January. I'm going to elaborate a little bit for you because you've been nice. Okay, so we have January, and then we have the 21st, and then 1977. All right, so let's see what we have, Alexander. Okay, so you're in the cusp. Okay, you have the Capricorn. Your Mercury is in Capricorn, detail-oriented, dedicated mentally to climb the mountain and being respected because of your wisdom or your education. Okay, Mercury in Capricorn doesn't reward right away. Mars is also there in Capricorn. Careful your knees. Later on in life, you might have to go through knee surgery, especially if you do hard work or if you do things that put stress on your knees. I see a little bit of a difficulty, maybe surgery. Doesn't mean it will, okay? But you have to remember the father of medicine who said, okay, you cannot call yourself a physician if you did not study astrology. So I think he knew better. But if there is a more problem with you, maybe the legacy on the heart, okay? But if you don't smoke, if you don't drink crazy, okay? If you exercise and you eat normal thing, you're set to have a long life, okay? That's for sure. Now, your sun and your moon is in Aquarius. Well, I have all my planets in Aquarius. I mean, a bunch of planets in Aquarius. So I have a stellium, and that's why our energy is kind of similar. We have the same interest. We vibrate at a very high Uranic energy, cosmic energy. Moon in Aquarius is independent, okay? Moon in Aquarius is very, very friendly. And Aquarius is a sign that is sought by the educated idiot as the tinfoil believe in UFOs or astrology. But Aquarius is also regiment and control the geniuses. Einstein was born with the head of the dragon in Aquarius. Okay. Now, you're on the cusp. So you have a Capricorn and you have the Aquarius. Capricorn is steady. He wants to work with the government, large corporation, build his own business, investment, God knows what. Aquarius is more into technology, flying and being weird and being special. That's just so you have those two energies as a soul's purpose. You have a dual chart. But I'm going to read it from the world of Aquarius. In the second house, your Venus is in Pisces. My God, your heart is bigger than your head. Be careful. Venus in a male chart to represent the type of love you are able to offer. Your love is entirely selfish, and you could jump into a relationship so fast. Since you have the 10 in Aries, you're going to learn by mistake. Okay, I can see you're definitely very competitive. There's no way around it. You could take chances where a lot of people want. Okay, the Capricorn would always try to slow you down and stop you before you break your bone, but you definitely are there. I can see that. Jupiter in Taurus is a promise of a lot of wealth, especially if you deal with investment or the bank. Okay, Jupiter in Taurus. Taurus is all about money, solidity, and rocks, and anything to do with the financial district. That's why Mercury's corporation used the bull, and the financial district in New York used the bull. Your Jupiter, the planet of luck, the planet of teaching, the planet of blessing of Jupiter in Taurus. If you're not wealthy, nobody will be wealthy. In other words, education. Okay, education. This is definitely very interesting. Saturn is in Leo, so don't fear. You might have had a legacy of difficulties, maybe in your family. That doesn't mean you're going to have any problem yourself. So, Saturn in Leo could mean also working very hard for the kids. Okay, kids that you didn't want to have, or God knows what, a lot of stress and difficulties there. And Saturn wants you to gather the light, promote the light, and do something for the kids of the future also. Pluto is very strong. Your head of the dragon in Libra. That's the attorney, the cop, the astropsychologist. And Pluto is also the FBI agent, the CIA, the investigator of the higher order. You're supposed to get something dead and put it back alive. Pretty much like I do with people that are in one level, okay, and I bring them into a higher level. That's the power of Pluto in your career. You have it in the sign of Libra. Libra is marriage and partnership, so you might have some problem with relationship until you learn balance and harmony and not being too self-centered and too competitive, too much of a dude. A lot of past life in Germany, otherwise a warrior, and also in Japan. It's very interesting, Dragon. Uranus is in the sign of Scorpio and your wishes and friends. So again, I would say people born in December and foreigners, again, I'm one of those have your wishes. The dragon is going to be moving in Aquarius, so that will force you to relocate. It will affect your finances also and your sun sign. So basically, it looks like if you're on for some very interesting time, the head of the dragon in Libra wants you to learn the laws, and that's what you're doing with me right now. But there is much more to talk about. So basically, I want you to pay attention to April and October. During the new moon and the full moon, a lot of interesting things will take place for you, Alexander. All right, my good friend, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. And God bless you, my friend. Yolanda, wow, thank you. Very sweet of you. Well, forgot what I said, but it's got to be good. And I mean it, honey. If not, I wouldn't have said it. You have a great smile. Yep. I also have a great new tip. I'm a Sagittarius rising. In case you don't know, it's a happy sign. It's a happy-go-lucky type of sign, ruled by Jupiter. So, and I have the moon in Gemini, so I like to say jokes. I like to be happy. Yeah, at 75 years old, believe me, my real teeth are. I still have some real teeth. Don't get me wrong, but not all that I pay for. All right. Thank you for the compliment, honey. Okay, so Anna, please help. This has affected my family and myself in every way. I'm grieving my employer decision to unfairly fire me due false accusation. Will I win and get my job back? Anna, you were born December the 8th, 1979. So that would be 12. And then and then 1979. Now, listen to me, honey. First of all, remember, you might have missed it. Okay, the tail of the dragon, as I'm speaking to you, is in the sign of Virgo for 18 months. It's been there since the beginning of the year. Okay. Virgo traditionally rules your service to the world, your work, your environment, your service to the world, your work, and your health. The tail is in this sign. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their job if you watch the news because of Dodge. Okay? Now, all these people that are in the government and all these educated idiots out there are not cosmic conscious. They have no idea. And it goes sudden enough for the normal people. Okay? Now, remember, if you have lost this job, whatever excuses you have, your subconscious or God knows much better than you. So I would think, because I've lost my job so many times in my life, I would think this is nothing else but a blessing in disguise. Don't curse yourself. If you're not welcome in one place, what the hell would you go there for? Hey, God has a better plan for you. Just have faith. But let me look at your stars to start with, because I don't know what type of work you were doing. I don't know if that fits. All right, so you're a Sagittarius with Neptune in Sagittarius, emotional and sensitive. Moon in Leo, so it will always be that little girl, and then your ego is easily bruised. Okay, all right, so keep the ego in control. That little girl in you will never grow up, which is a good thing. Okay? Moon in Leo means you're supposed to have a beautiful home, maybe live in France or Italy. Okay, work with children or work with the arts. Your emotional response to life is to build a stage, love and light, children, run your show. What do you do with working with somebody when you have the Moon in Leo? Your Venus is in Capricorn, so you tend to attract all the guys because they have money, they have solidity, they have security, which is good, don't get me wrong. And you could also attract much younger guys as you get older. The Venus in Capricorn, a little bit of a snob, might be like classical music, good house. But this is an interesting position for your Venus in the second house, which means you can work with the art and you can work with women. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Your mental process is Aquarius, so computers, technology, New Age, astrology, all is all there. The tail of the dragon is in Pisces. Oh my God. Your tail of the dragon is in Pisces. Currently, the tail of the dragon is in Virgo. So your head of the dragon is Virgo, where you have a stallion, you got Saturn, you're fussy, you're picky, you're critical, you're detail-oriented, you tend to focus on the detail, natural healing. Again, you could also turn into vegetarian, and you could also hurt your digestive tract when you get depressed. The good news, Jupiter is there, Mars is there too. All in your head in Virgo, paperwork, office work, all that good energy, you're giving this to somebody. You know what? When you work for somebody, you're making their wishes coming true. And you're working your butt off, paying tax, going nowhere. Hey, start to think. Tail of the dragon, that's your worst position to be. Because that's the complainer, that's the crier. Okay? So don't swim downstream. The past, negativity, confusion, depression, revenge, insecurity. Oh my gosh, you're sending so many confused messages to your subconscious that is completely berserk. It doesn't know what to do anymore. So you're not using your creativity or your dragon properly. That's due probably to the mess you went through when you were a kid. That's something that I see in your chart, of course. Listen to me. The dragon took you out of this job because God, or your head of the dragon, has a much better deal for you. You're going to realize this in September. In fact, September and March will always be important. Okay? You got a stallion in your 10th house of career. You are the fantastic person to work for yourself. So if you're kicked out of a job, take it as a blessing, not a problem. I hope that helped. All right. Anna. 12/8/79. So 12, we just did you. We just took care of you. Okay, we got that. I hope you understood me. Dex, October 24/83. Wow, October 24. So that would be 10/24/1983. Let's look what we have here. Well, we definitely have a Scorpio. You're on the cusp, which means you have your Mercury is in Libra. Okay, so your mind goes left and right, Okay, you investigate everything. Okay? Good position for Mercury in the sign of Libra. We could sometimes bring a bit of a decision. Pluto is in Libra, so you're going to have problem in your relationship. You're definitely very magnetic, very, very scorpionic here. And Saturn is in Scorpio. Saturn is called the Great Malefic. Okay, so careful with the cops. Anything to do with Scorpio. Scorpio with sex. Careful what you do out there too. Okay, there's a lot of people who go to Thailand to have fun. Next thing they come back with big problems. Okay, so Saturn is a nasty guy. Is in Scorpio, so just be cautious of what you do out there sexually. Okay, that's the way I work. Very nice, very direct. Saturn in Scorpio will definitely help you if you want to get into the police, the medical field, metaphysics, investment. Scorpio never loses in life. Not Scorpio is a 100% winner. It's always succeed. Now you got to remember that. Your downfall is being too honest, too direct, behaving like the bull in the china shop. And then you're bullying off everybody away. And you have the same dragon as Trump. Okay, focus, concentrate, finish what you start. Try not to repeat yourself. The good news is the Scorpio is giving you a lot of discipline. Okay, so for you back. A lot of past life with disappearing civilization. The Mayan, the Incas, and the Sumerians. You can see that it was stuck. Also, you have past life in Spain and Portugal where you were a priest. Also, stay away from the codification of thought and religion. You like to eat and you like to cook. You're pretty domestic, though. It's interesting. At least you like food, put it this way. With you, it's all about communication and education. Okay, but remember, education. There's a big difference between education and intelligence. Okay, so gathering a bunch of PhDs in education, that's not going to work with you. Okay, even though that you can educate yourself on the head in Gemini, which is untraditional, is what I meant. Okay, there's a lot of people who gets a lot of PhDs out there, and they're still idiots, put it this way. So anything about writing, reading, languages, communication, photography, you can use the duality, you can use the gift of youth, you can use all this power on your head of the dragon, and even the head of the dragon is mutual reception is on the 9th house, so you will still be very lucky in throwing around with pointers. Okay? And basically, the new dragon, right now the dragon is in the area of love, romance, and children, so it's putting a lot of stress and insecurity due to whatever happened in the past. Karmic, gotta pay. That's how it is. Okay, the new dragon will be moving in the sign of Aquarius again, and that will be affecting anything and everything related to education. So there is definitely some new stuff coming your way, but try to be original. Computers, technology, things outside of the box. You heard about a Gemini. The dragon's head is very strong in Gemini. All right, my good friend. Hope that helped. Just pay attention. We go from there. Okay. Ronaldo Acevedo, greeting Dr. Turi. Thank you for the reading of my wife, Rosa Angelica. Hola, Rosa. However, she was born on the 31st, not the 21st. Okay, of May 1958. Okay. That happened quite a lot. That's why I always say to my client before I start, you see on the left side here, you have your name, your last name, longitude and latitude, that's my part, but you have the date of birth and you have the time of birth. Because if I was doing a reading and I didn't catch that, I would have to redo the reading. So I've learned over the years to always ask the client to double check the date of birth. Okay. And then when the client checked it, it's correct, it's good. All right, then I can go. Because one misinformation changed the reading. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a feedback, see how much that changed. So you were born on the 31st. So I believe that was 31st. Was that May? Okay, hold on a sec. Ronaldo. Well, you might have to just join me on the next step on TikTok. So, and give me the right date of birth, and we might approach her there, okay? Because some people are waiting, and there's a mistake. There's a consequence when you make mistakes. Just be patient. Ida, May 18, 1966. We have a lot of Tauruses. Have you noticed that? May 18, 1966. Ida. There's always a reason. May is all about money, solidity, and security. So it's a good energy. It's a good energy. I like that. Okay, so Ida, you have Mercury in Taurus, Mars in Taurus, the head of the dragon in Taurus, and the sun in Taurus. You have a set of horns. You also have the moon in Aries. I mean, 2 sets of horns. Who wants to mess around with a bull? The deadliest animal in Africa. Nobody's standing on top of a bull. So you've got 2 sets of horns, the Aries moon, okay, and the bull. Okay, so let go of the past. Don't be stubborn. Learn to compromise. The tail of the dragon is on your marriage area. So that means you're going to have some problems, okay, in relationships because you're strong, you're firm in what you want. You're also impatient and competitive and a little bit aggressive. And then you've got Saturn in Pisces that could make you insecure, very emotional, and your emotion could be a little bit of water. Okay. The good news is that Taurus is not bad. You have the head there, which means you will always have money. You will always attract money. You need to regenerate by walking barefoot on the grass and the dirt. Okay, Taurus is an earth sign. And surround yourself with crystals. Touch crystal when you don't feel well. Grab a crystal, different colors. Go anywhere where they sell a crystal. Touch them, feel them. Let them talk to you. Okay, carry them on you. Earth, Taurus. All right. Obviously, anything to do with real estate, food hotels and restaurants, you're lucky your Jupiter is right in Cancer, but you're completely under the jurisdiction of the moon, so you have to watch the fluctuations. Okay, it's serious. When it comes to children and love, you are so fussy, so picky, you have so much expectation, and you expect perfection. Doesn't work that way. And that could make the kids later on to resent you because you're too much of a good mom, too much of a good person, too much concern with the well-being. And you're so damn honest. You probably have wonderful magnetic eyes. Yeah, Neptune is also on your 7th house. So stay away from the Neptunian. Remember, they drink, they take drugs, they're religious fanatic, they swim downstream. Okay, and Scorpio rules a reproductive area, so that means maybe losing a child or abortion or dramatic experience involving Scorpio. The tail is in there. Okay, so without really understanding the strengths of your stars, it'll be difficult either. And you're very private. You're very private. I'm surprised you put your name and your date of birth in here. You're like an FBI agent and a CIA agent, very, very private. But you got a lot to offer. A lot to offer. Your sensitivity is against you. Your honesty is against you. People don't like to hear the truth. Okay? The dragon is going to be moving in the sign of Leo in your home area and in your career. So there is a relocation, a bigger house, a better house, something to do with real estate. And your home and your career will have to be restructured. So maybe you should do astrocartography and see me so I can tell you the best place in the world or how to use astrocartography for the rest of your life, of all the people that you know. I hope that helps. Okay, let's move on. Alexander, you're welcome. Rachel McComas, July 22nd, 68, 9:17 daylight saving time, 5 hours time. I love those Cancer. They're so fussy, they're so picky, so detail oriented, and many of them miss the picture for the 3. And why? Well, count to 3 from July. July, August, September. Okay, 3rd house. This is how people talk. July, August, September. They think like Virgo, fussy, picky, critical, vegetarianism, nature, green plant. Simple. Divine astrology is to the point. It's very, very, very direct. Now, I don't know how many of you read what my webmaster said. This is Dr. Turi. You know, your website get hit from Vedic astrology non-stop. Every day I got tons and tons of Vedic astrology, reading my stuff, learning from me. Well, that's a compliment as far as I'm concerned. And in case you do not know, they are actually, many times, I think there is like, says 50 or 16 different way of running a chart. There's no Vedic astrology or divine astrology. There's more. All right, so 1968. Okay, here we go. Let's look at you, Rachel. Mercury, Mars, don't eat when you're upset. Mars is right on your stomach. You don't want to burn the lining of your stomach. You better drink water, okay? Mercury is in Cancer, so your mental process is very fussy, very picky, very detail-oriented, and you could be also very communicative. You could talk. Your moon is in Gemini, like mine, so that's the talker. Yours is in your subconscious, so you could talk to yourself, and that's okay as long as you're positive. Completely under the moon jurisdiction, you better know about this law, okay, and use it. 2nd house of money, Venus, the art in Leo. Venus is in a female chart what she's able to offer. You put your man on the pedestal, okay? You have the best love light to give. Leo was France and Italy. Leo was the art. Venus there, I mean, you can work with women, you can work with the art, you can work for the light, for children. That's where you spend and make money. That's where God wants you to shine. That's where you're Leo. In your mental process, Jupiter is in Virgo. Anything to do with natural healing, plant and green, well, you're a witch. You're a medicine woman, okay? And Pluto makes you direct. Regenerating with metaphysics, and of course you have studied the stars because the planet of the geniuses, or astrology and computers, New Age, UFOs is in your 3rd house, which is your mind. So your mind is special, futuristic. 10 of the dragon in Libra, you tend to attract the wrong people because Libra means you have to respect the law, especially those related to the moon. You should know every fluctuation, every moon sign, every waxing and waning period. You should never put your nose out not knowing. Maybe you should join the Cosmic Code. We teach that in the Cosmic Code. So a lot of relationship because not respecting the laws of the divine. Head of the dragon is in Aries like me. That could give you headaches and sinuses or eye problems. But you're definitely born a leader. You're going to be harassed to find yourself. Since I have the same dragon, I was harassed by Aries, okay, to find out who I am through Libra astropsychology. See, I'm learning the laws. That's all I did all my life. Head of the dragon is in your career. You should run your show. You probably will do better in the second part of your life with that. The head of the dragon will be moving in your 2nd house of money and the house of metaphysics, incorporated endeavors. So there is quite a lot as far as money and metaphysics ahead of you. Right now, the dragon is in your mind, so don't worry about your health. Don't worry about your work. Don't worry about everything. Your blessing will be through Pisces in the 9th house, which is connecting with foreigners and higher learning of the spirit. Regenerate by the water, walk barefoot on the beaches, take a cruise. Let's see what we have here. Time flies when you're having fun. You got that right, baby. Time flies when you have fun. I remember when I was in Thailand, I had colon cancer, so they fixed me out there. Wow. I spent a month in the hospital. I thought I was going to stay there like 10 years. It was so long. Okay. Oh, Okay, so Benny, she gave me a $10. So anytime I get that yellow flag here, okay, it's a thank you from me, and obviously I'm putting you right on top of the list. Okay, $10 is not much, and it's not the money; it's the appreciation. So being appreciated is so important. So March, okay, like me, and you were born on the 31st, so you're on the cusp, and you were born in 1989. We're gonna put the year again. I don't have the time. I use the time for astrocartography because I need longitude and latitude. But again, Nostradamus didn't have a watch, so we're going to use the dragon. Whoa, look at this. Dragon is in Pisces. I'm sure you heard of Nostradamus, Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, the sleeping doctor. Madame Blavatsky, those guys are the prophet, metaphysician, the top prophet and metaphysician. You have the same dragon as those guys. Wow, that's a good dragon. Anything to do with Pisces is hypnotherapy, the art, music, acting, dancing, the superconscious, entire space magic. You're talking about Pisces dragon. You're a terminal. You're not coming back. This is your last time on this dense physical world. An opportunity is given to you to shut down the reincarnation principle and become a co-creator with God or yourself because you were made in the image of God. I don't know if you watched my previous video where I explained your connection with the divine and God because you are a goddess in training on this dense physical world. Okay, learning and realizing that your future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thought. Last time I spoke about it, I asked people, what was this 2,000 years ago, 200 years ago, 50 years ago? Oh, the right answer is nothing. It didn't exist. But it's here. That means you were made in the image of God. Okay? Same God, you, God, you, whatever. Okay? So you're a goddess in training on this dense physical world, learning that your future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thoughts. Careful what you think, because sooner or later your thought will be in front of you. Like everything around me once upon a time didn't exist, including my tower table. I made it. It was not there once upon a time, including that one here. Okay? There's a lot of things around me that wasn't there, but I attracted it. I made it. Okay? So be cautious with this dragon. Highly critical, detail-oriented, medicine woman, witch, definitely a lot of power. Since you don't like doctors, you're into natural healing probably. Careful your guts, your intestines. Don't turn yourself into a cow. Okay. You got a stellium in Capricorn. Moon is in Capricorn. Saturn is in Capricorn. Careful the joint, the knees, and the skin. Don't eat when you're upset again. Okay. Uranus is in Capricorn. Technology, AI, New Age, name it. Capricorn, right on your wishes. It's going to take a while to climb the mountain. And again, remember, Capricorn, you have a stellium in Capricorn, and Capricorn is the head of the goat, or in Christian theology, the head of the devil, the head of Satan. So you're a witch. Oh, don't like the word witch again. You're a medicine woman. Okay. All right. Aptitude with cooking. Mercury, Venus, Sun in Aries, very competitive. Very competitive. Got to be harassed again to find out who you are because you're meant to be a leader of the mind. Simple as that. Jupiter in Gemini. Whoa, that's a writer, that's a talker, photographer, communicator, a messenger of the God by excellence. Very lucky. If you discipline yourself and crystallize your thought, Benny, your books could be translated. Your experiences could be go wild all over the world in different languages. Mars is in Gemini, drive slow. Don't break your bones or your fingers. Careful your words. Mars, once the words are gone, they're gone. They're doing damage to you or to others. Okay. All right. Socialize a little bit more. Tremendous amount of past life for so many different disappeared civilizations. Unbelievable. Any problem on your feet? If you do, walk barefoot. Okay. I hope that helped. If you want to know more, again, drturi.com and click on Virgo. You can read the basics of Virgo or Aries or Libra or whatever. All right. Thank you for the donation, Benny. Appreciate it. Let's see now. We have another one. You're a bit scared? Why? Yolanda, tell me, why would you be scared? Yolanda Brown, she says, I am a bit scared. I wish I knew why you would be scared. Am I that ugly? Oh, am I too direct and too honest? It's how it is. You don't have to be scared. There is no reason to be scared about anything. You know, when you're afraid of something, the subconscious is taking this as a wish because it's an energy. Energy is going to go somewhere. It's going to come back. So be above. Have faith. Be knowledgeable. Build cosmic consciousness. Do what you have to do. Educate yourself. Don't nurture fear, because that's exactly what the reptilians or the negative group of extraterrestrials need. They need your fear so that they can survive in dark matter. Don't feed the reptilians. Watch my UFO movie from drturi.com. You'll understand a little bit more about the good and the bad ETs that hijack your body, your mind, and your soul. I'm Jeff. I'm Virgo, September 20th, 1974. Okay, we're going to put September, we're going to put 19 and 1974. Let me double check that. Yep, I got you, Jeff. Let's go. Virgo. Venus is on your first house. Venus in Virgo. So Venus is the goddess of love and beauty. So she's making you magnetic, attractive, maybe through your eyes. I don't know. That's interesting. Stellium in Libra, in the second house of money. Libra is the law. Okay. Remember O.J. Simpson, attorney and lawyer. Marsha Clark, Virgo, Libra, attorney, law. And all my students born in September. Spending money, the second house is money, okay, to learn the laws. Remember, you can have all the money in the world. If you don't have love or your health, you got zilch. It's important to keep everything in balance, okay? Excuse me. Morning, Scorpio, holy goosey. Okay. The moon is your emotional response to life, and you represent your domestic scenery, and you are bringing in maybe your connection with your mother or your dad. Whatever happened, let it go. No future in your past. You have asked mom and dad and all the hell you went through. Period. All right, moon in Scorpio. It's a natural subconscious drive to destroy the nucleus. Elizabeth Taylor was born with the moon in Scorpio. How many husbands did she sting to death? And all these guys were wrong? No, she was stinging. She did not know. She was rich and famous, but not cosmic consciousness. She didn't have Dr. Turi to guide her, to help her to kill the Scorpio in the past, jealousy, the Sandman, suspicion, negativity, fighting, and build the ego instead. No man's going to stay with a woman that beat all the time. Home is where you have peace and beauty, and a beautiful woman that loves her husband, take care of him, respect him, and he's supposed to do the same. That's what partners are about. Equal, partner, be with me. When it's good, when it's bad, we fight together, we build something together. All right, so control the negative aspect of your moon in Scorpio and sarcasm, because you're going to destroy a lot of people, including your own future with that moon in Scorpio if you don't control it. All right, yeah. Head of the dragon is in Gemini, so he withdrew. I mean, Scorpio is pretty horny. He wants to do his own stuff over there, and Gemini wants to be free. So Virgo is all perfectionism. It's all about being the real thing for somebody. The Gemini wants to have a double life, and the moon in Scorpio is horny. So that's interesting when you look at all this mixture here. And then you got Saturn in Cancer, the fear of not having food, the fear of never finding stability, the fear of never having security. Okay? So this is a complicated chart, don't get me wrong. And then all the stress could mess up your stomach, okay? Give you headaches and sinuses problems. And then allergies, God knows what. The head of the dragon is Sagittarius. And you got Neptune on your head of the dragon. Neptune is exotic place. Sagittarius is foreigners and foreign land. Get on the head and your life will change for the best. Right now you have the head and the tail in Pisces, Virgo, Okay, so anything to do with your health, anything to do with work, thousands of people have lost their job. Thank you, Elon Musk, blah, 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 blah. The tail of the dragon and the head of the dragon are right on you and your seventh house of marriage and partnerships. You were born with Jupiter on the seventh house in Pisces. You should be close to the water. You should be in an island, in an exotic place, on foreign ground. That Jupiter would make you very lucky in attracting the right people until you burn your batteries because you're very critical. You know what you want, don't get me wrong. And you probably will always get what you want. The head in Sagittarius, Jupiter, the Lord of Luck, is protecting you. But you do better with foreigners and on foreign ground, my friend. Okay. And all this experience, all the stuff that you went through, crystallize it. You can write. Okay. Discipline yourself. Don't be all over the place. You can teach the world. All right. We got that done for you. Clear. Let's see. Wow. 1 hour and 45 minutes. Okay, I'll tell you what. Kathy, I'll take care of you on the other side. I need to take a break. I need to take a break. So what I'm going to do, I am going to thank every one of you for being here tonight. Okay, I will be here again, same time next week, and pretty much the same time all the time, trying to guide all of you, give you direction, talk about God knows what under the stars, not just doing private readings. And now it's time for you, once we're done, to read that newsletter. Sign up to my channel, like your Dr. Turi, share my newsletter, be part of the solution. God bless all of you. We shall see you again next week. See you next on TikTok in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Just go there. Talk to you later. Bye.